the Viva Insight out-of-the-box capability. So I will provide an overview, some research data around well-being productivity, our work trend index survey that we have, and then Gayatri will talk about the personal insight, manager insight, organization insight, which is coming from a different persona, different angle. So I would say leader will like to look at, let's say, organization org-wide ways of working, and manager will leveraging Viva Insight differently as well. So if I take a step back, not sure if anyone have read our work trend index survey that we published last year, end of last year. So we have a new term called productivity paranoia, which is coming from the survey that we conduct, which is with about 20,000 people in 11 countries. And what we have found is that 87% of employees report they are productive in hybrid work. But as per data, only 12% of leaders say that they are confident their employees are productive in hybrid work. So what we see here is really the disconnect productivity paranoia, and it's really make hybrid work unsustainable. Because what we're seeing right now, like regardless, like I just had a customer call earlier where they're still on 100% working from home. People not in the office every day. Many leaders and managers can't see the old ways of I would say the old ways of measuring hard work, which is employees showing their working in the office. So an employee right now may perhaps during the pandemic as well have the pressure to prove they are actually working. So the way they do it now is actually having that digital overload, having meetings, collaborations through the collaboration tool. So actually, interestingly, we have analyzed trillions of productivity signal across M365, and we actually found that the time spent in meeting per week has increased by 252% on average through Microsoft Teams since the pandemic. And also we see overlapping meeting has been double. And also what we have seen is that based on the research, 48%, which is 1 in 2 employees, reports that they are already feeling burned out at work. And only less than a third of employees said that the manager give a clear guidance during one-on-one to help them prioritize their workload. So it's very interesting data point here, which really a big correlation with employees' potential burnout, which impact their well-being. And when employees feeling burnout, they will, which is correlation with the disengagement as well, which lead to employee attrition rates as well. So, but very interestingly, in our research, what we have found is that more than half of the company rarely, if ever, collects feedback about their employee experience at work. If your company already, gathering active signal through employee survey, which is great, but let's say like 43% of company don't have this kind of thing implemented in the organization, and feedback is actually really crucial signal that can help catch those issues before they reaching a breaking point that can cause business causing the time, the attrition, cost of attrition, as well as time and money. And very interesting data, which I've seen previously, where when employees leave the organization within 3 to 6 months, is actually the company couldn't even break even because the recruitment cost, the training cost is actually up to 3 to 6 month point before they can break even. So if employee leave within 6 months, it's not a good sign for the company as well. So what Viva can provide from Microsoft perspective and could provide organizations insight to help create culture where people and business can thrive, and leveraging data-driven insight to create better workplace. So this I would say 4 aspects of what data-driven insight we can provide. So from an organization perspective, it's really for leaders, senior leaders, CXO, understand the high level of employees' ways of working, identify pockets of opportunity to improve their ways of working. So for example, if they notice a couple of teams, business unit where people tend to have long after hours or long working hours, potentially a company can implement some changes around, let's say, no meeting Fridays, for example, or emphasize having those well-being campaign, which I have a couple of customers currently having this well-being campaign because they actually received some survey data saying that employee feeling burnout, and they leverage Viva Insight data to really validate that. And from a team insight perspective, it's really to empower manager to understand their team collaboration whatnot, and manager can also take action based on that insight. From a personal individual perspective is to really for individual understand their own collaboration, which is data only visible for individual. So this is one thing I want to emphasize is that Microsoft really care about individual privacy. So data that only for individuals, such as what's their meeting norm. So it could be the meeting title that they probably can see in Viva Insight. Those information can only be visible for employees, which Gaia potentially show later on what exactly capability going to look like. And last but not least, we have advanced insight, which is really for data analysts to potentially have a deeper dive on the insight slide and dice of data, and also create some advanced use cases. So I think if anyone have joined this session, previous sessions, we talk about process efficiency, identify keywords to understand how much time employees spend in meetings, email related to that keyword so that they can understand how much time people spend in that particular process. So these are some advanced insight that data analysts can extract more data from Viva Insight and create those use cases. So I would say high level, these are three common use cases we have seen customer our customer have. So first one is around enhance business performance. Is to really help organization understand the meeting effectiveness, for example, whether or not they have meeting overload. So think about when employees have a lot of meeting, which means that they probably don't have a lot of time to focus on strategic work. So an example, this customer SES, which is a telecommunication industry, to really understand the meeting culture of the employees. From there, they actually implement some sort of meeting-free Wednesday based on the insight to have a better meeting culture. And the outcome of that, they have found the well-being has improved overall, and 70% of employees actually feel more productive. So these are some of the outcome that they have, business outcome we have seen in this particular customer within this particular use case. The other part is around foster high-performing team in hybrid work. So Old Mutual, which is our customer, they actually leverage Viva Insight to help their workforce pilot. So they can group the data based on the working location of the employee. So you can combine some third-party data, and then, for example, whether or not employee in the same locations collaborate together. So you can have some sort of organization attribute to showcase this group of people that work in Melbourne. They tend to work very closely, collaborate a lot through meetings and emails. Maybe this will help contribute, maybe put them in the office first and prioritize the workforce pilot, the work sit in the workplace, for example. And last of the use case is around boost employee engagement and retention. This is a very common use case, still a very common use case right now, is to understand employees whether or not they have a high risk of burnout, and whether or not they have enough time to focus instead of always on having collaboration and emails. So our customer PayPal, for example, they leverage Viva Insight, one of the capabilities such as Power BI template, to understand the overall ways of working employees, which cover three areas: the meeting culture, manager effectiveness, such as whether or not employees spend one-on-one time with their manager, because that's really impacts employee engagement if they don't feel support by the manager. And last but not least is around the well-being perspective. So before Gaia talk about the Viva Insight, deep dive into the out-of-box capability, there's a common question I've heard previously is the seeded value versus feature that require Viva Insight license. So when I say seeded value, essentially value that already part of the M365 license. So such as adding inline suggestion in Outlook, virtual commute, has-space guided meditation. These are all capability that already part of the M365. So what additional value Viva Insight license could provide is something to do with advanced analytics that we mentioned earlier, the data insight from an org perspective, what's the ways of working in the organization. So these are what Viva Insight license additional value provide. So I'll pass it to Gaia to deep dive into the product capabilities.
Thank you, Vivian. Let me share my screen. And just one minute, please. Are you able to see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Vivian, for the introduction. And so today, what I'll be talking about is the personal insights experience, the manager insights, and the organizational level insights that you will see out of box in the Teams app. So I'll start off with the personal insights and then move on to the other two. So if you really look at it, individuals receive personal insights visible only to them to help them understand and reflect on how they work, as well as to assist them in the flow of work to build better work habits. So the Microsoft Viva Insights app in Teams basically shows you personalized recommendation that help you do your best work. So you can build better work habits, such as like commitments you made to collaborators. So how do you get that done? Protecting focus time in the day for uninterrupted individual work. So a lot of this is what you will see as part of personal insight. So there are some questions that you could, probably answer using these personal insights as like, do you have enough time to complete your work every day? Could you make your meetings more productive? Or are you able to disconnect and recharge regularly? And these are some of the key scenarios that you'll be able to actually answer using these personal insights. And using this app, you can actually stay connected, like stay on top of your collaboration with colleagues, like through features like meeting assistant, task suggestions, etc. You can protect your time, like you can eliminate distractions, stop multitasking, and focus on your priorities. So there are a bunch of things, and I'll show you some of the examples that we have in personal insights, which will some of these scenarios I'll walk you through the next few slides. Moving on, one second. So in parallel to the top-down change, Viva Insights provide individuals with insights, recommended actions, and habit-building programs in the flow of work in Outlook and Teams. For example, like the daily briefing email, like offers actionable recommendations to start the day on track, book time in the week ahead for important activities like focused work, learning, mental breaks, etc. So, as much as we have this, privacy is a very, very important thing from Viva Insight standpoint, and it is intentionally designed into our product. And it primarily has three core tenets to protect individuals as well as organizations' privacy. So, first is all personal information is derived from an individual's mailbox or what you already know primarily, right? Only you can see your own data. Second, any new information from outside of mailbox is presented in the form of aggregate. So you can't really identify an individual with this data. Third is user can choose to opt out or choose where to receive their insights. So these are three key pillars on which the privacy is built in Viva Insights. So if you really look at it as a Viva Insights user, only you can see the data. Your data is stored and computed in your Exchange online mailbox, and you can opt in and opt out at any point of time. And personal insights shows you no personally identifiable information of coworkers beyond what you can already see in Outlook or Teams. So that is the key part of these insights. Now, moving on, like as we've covered before, we map our personal tools to build towards these critical business outcomes that, one is enhance business performance, foster the three things that Vivian talked about, the three key business outcomes like enhance business performance, foster high performing teams in a hybrid era, or boost employee engagement and retention. There are meaningful ways to build towards these on a day-to-day level, and we'll walk you through some of how we help individual employees set themselves up to be their best selves at work. So first, we make capacity within an organization by protecting time. So that is the key thing, like using focus plan, virtual commute. We'll talk a little bit more in detail in the next slide, but that's one key thing about capacity. Secondly, we can see how small inline suggestions that we provide can help people work when they need to help employees connect better across time zones, flexible schedules, and to help people not disturb each other, like scheduling your email, like schedule send your email or quiet time. So these are some examples of it. Third, building engagement by helping people stay connected. That is, you will get reminders of outstanding messages, chats, docs, etc., and a positive connection such as praise as well. So these are the key three, the three key business outcomes, and there are certain features which we'll talk about, which maps to these business outcomes. Now, I'll start now walking through some of these experiences and personal insights or out of the box insights that help employees save their time and energy for what matters to them. So what you see here, like, is protect time experience, which makes it easy for someone to schedule focus time to work uninterrupted during the day. So let's say as a product manager, if I want to write a spec, I would be able to block time to go and work on that spec without having people to come and interrupt me during that part of time. So this feature primarily makes sure that you can block time before it fills up with meetings. And the second thing is in the ability you can schedule reminders for a virtual commute as well. So especially in a hybrid environment, like when you want to like shut down from work, you have to mindfully wrap up the workday. So the way to you can set up virtual commute to help you do that. From here, like employees can also set quiet time to silence mobile notifications from Outlook and Teams to help disconnect and recharge after hours. The next one that you're seeing here is primarily about plans. So employees are able to set up their plans to work best for their role and even the type of time they need protected. For example, learning or breaks and messages to cater to their individual roles, right? Levels, calendars. So all of this is what primarily protect time in Personal Insights provides. This screen that you're seeing here is primarily the virtual commute experience that I was talking about. So this virtual commute experience helps employees mindfully wrap up a remote workday and end with as much energy as they started. So for me, it is important for me to carve out quality time and give my full attention to my family every evening. However, let's say when I'm heads down, like having a hectic day at work in back-to-back meetings, trying to stay caught up with all the emails, chats, tasks, etc., it is very easy to lose track of time. So this virtual commute feature helps with that. Once I've set up my virtual commute, this helpful reminder that pops up near the end of my workday, it primarily guides me through a set of pre-selected activities so that I can close my day easily. So for example, like task management helps me like add pending tasks to my to-do list for tomorrow. So it frees up valuable mental space for my evening. I can also look back and celebrate all that I had done for that particular day. So it enables me to engage with my family with the right mindset. And emotional check-ins will help you pause and reflect on how the day went and see patterns over time. And integration with meditation apps like Headspace makes it possible to unwind. Right. So all of these things primarily helps you to mindfully disconnect and recharge. Now, The next set of feature that I'm going to show you is primarily the delay delivery. Now we start to shift to how personal insights can simply change how we collaborate with others. So here in this example, you can see an inline suggestion as someone when they're writing an email during the recipient's after hours. So this happens more commonly as people have flexible work hours and across geographies and time zone. So we have recently enabled this capability in Outlook web app and rolling out Teams chats as well. But this primarily gives an option for somebody to send that email in the recipient's work hours. So what really happens is, let's say after you send the email, right, it's kept in your Outlook sent items folder until the scheduled delivery time when it's automatically delivered for you. So before the message is sent, you can do two things. You can open the message and select send now to ignore the scheduled delivery time and send the email right away, or don't send to stop like scheduled delivery time, which moves your email to your Outlook deleted item folder. So this one feature will help you connect with other person, but making sure like you respect other person's time as well. Moving on now, we're going to talk about quiet time experience. A protect time experience makes it easy to schedule focus time to work uninterrupted during the day. And like from here, employees can also set quiet time to silence mobile notifications from Outlook and Teams to help disconnect and recharge after hours. What this primarily does is helps protect individuals with how they need to work. So that's primarily what you can do. You can say on this particular day, on all these days, set my quiet hours to be this way so that you're not interrupted during that day with notification from Outlook and Teams. So we've walked through some key examples of how personal insights can help guide employees to protect their time and minimize distraction. We have key examples for individual to make the most of the time to effectively stay on top of the volume of chats, emails, documents. You'll have a lot of these collaboration activities and individual activities that you perform in a day. So the personal insights also helps you stay on top of it. Connection and collaboration is very critical to productivity. And Viva Insights primarily aims to make it easier and make more time for an individual. Last, like for example, we have praise with recent additions, like what we've done as being recommendations of, like you can go and praise this person, you've collaborated with them, histories, insights, and reminders to build up culture and teamwork across your organization. Recognition is a key ingredient for employee engagement, and our recent releases have made it even easier to help employees take the time to thank their team and colleagues. So primarily, these are the set of features that you will find in personal insights. Now, I'm going to pause for if there are any questions. Otherwise, the next transition that I'm going to do is towards the manager and the leader insights.
Okay, so we have one query on chat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do we
there's
have
one
any?
question
Yeah.
that I'm about to address here. Is about daily briefing email, whether it will be enabled again. So currently this function is on pause until further notice, but I'm gonna add some link. So instead of going through daily briefing to let's say block focus time, there's other way to do that. There's other way to do that, which I will put it on the link as well if this is the functionality you seek. There's another question. Can you add top collaborator directly from the Inside MS Team app in Stay Connected?
Okay, sorry, Vivian, like your voice is breaking off. I don't know if it's on my side. Let me 1 second.
So let me repeat the question again. Is that can you add top collaborator directly from the Inside MS Team app in Stay Connected?
Not right now. So, but it's a good feedback. So I will take it back to the team and get back to you with an answer for that.
Yeah, so these are all the questions. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. So now making the transition to the leader manager, basically insights. So leaders and managers with premium Viva insights have access to information about how they impact their team and how their team is investing their time and energy at work. So what really happens is when a leader or a manager visits the Viva Insights homepage, they will see highlights about their teamwork. So this is just a quick overview. What you see here is what they see. I'll talk a little bit more on this in the next few slides. So let's first talk about team insights. These primarily show managers how they, as a manager, impact their team. So these insights are based entirely on the manager's own data. So there is no sensitive information. So they simply reframe the manager's own activities to help them reflect on whether there is something they'd like to do differently. So for managers with Viva Insights Premium, Viva Insights will suggest their team members based on Azure Active Directory AD data, and they can confirm or edit the team that they see. So that's how the team structure is built. And they'll be able to see like the upcoming one-on-one meetings with their team members, whether they're able to maintain good meeting habits in meetings that included the team members, and whether their own activity is impacting their team's preferred quiet hours. So these are some interesting insights that will give opportunity for managers to reflect on their own activity and make any changes that could help build the team culture. They can also set up shared plans with their team to invite them to commit to new habits or practices together. Yeah. Okay. Um, Talking a little bit more on the privacy on these organizational insights. Unlike the team insights, organization insights shows a leader or manager aggregated information about how their group is investing time and energy at. Because this is information that they don't already have, there are extra protections and controls available to ensure that no user learns information about an identifiable person that they didn't already have. So there are three strategies we primarily use to protect individual identity, which is minimum group size. First is minimum group size, because it's easier to guess information about an individual based on results about a smaller groups. Leaders and managers won't see results for groups with fewer than 10 people. So, and there is an option for Insights Administrator to go and choose to increase this threshold even further for additional protection. So this is the first privacy thing that we've taken. Second is differential privacy. For simple averages and total, there's small amount of noise introduced into each calculation. So the aggregate amount remains accurate, but this makes it impossible to add or subtract different values to figure out results for a single person. And the last is about distribution tails. So some insights measure how many people have a certain profile, like what percentage of organization get enough focus time. But leaders and managers won't see results that would otherwise reveal like almost all or almost none of the group fit the profile, because that would effectively give them information about every individual in the group. So we make sure like using these three principles, like there is um, it'll be only insights which are aggregate, and it's not an information that they don't already have. Now, there are two ways for the insights administrator to grant access to organization insight. So if you want to access this organization insight, one, you can either, they can assign this person to an insights business leader role, or they can enable a person as a group manager using the Viva Insights manager setting. So to be eligible to view this, one is, like I said, the role that you need to have. The other is there must be a person must have premium Viva Insights license. That's the other thing. Additionally, people in that person's organization must also have a premium Viva Insights license for those people to be measured in an organization insights. This means, let's say, for an insights business leader to see an insight for their entire company, every person in their company must have a premium license. And people with the insights business leader role can see organization insights that include every person in their tenant. And people with the group manager role can see organization insights that only include people who report to them directly or indirectly. And this reporting hierarchy is uploaded and maintained by the insights administrator. So people with both the roles, that is business leader role and group manager role, will be able to toggle between the two organization insights view. Now, we'll talk a little bit more now that I mentioned about privacy and how manager settings work, a little bit more on the organization insights side. So the organization insights offers a suite of metrics to help understand scenarios like well-being, productivity, and team culture from different angles. So the metrics that we use to show this include like how much time a person spends collaborating, how much of that occurs after hours, and how it impacts their available time for focused work. So these are some key metrics that you will be able to get out of these organizational insights. And there are also a number of metrics to measure the health of team meetings, like how much time is spent multitasking, or how many meetings are recurring series, or how much time is spent in meetings that are too large or long. So there are a lot of scenarios around meetings, after hours, well-being, productivity themes that you will see in the out-of-box insights. And for leaders, they get a sense of the management style in their organization and whether employees are getting the right amount of time with their manager to help them thrive. So primarily, that is the out-of-box insights that you will get out of the organization insights page. So finally, organization insights are mapped to best practices and other Viva Insights features to drive change across the organization. So giving leaders visibility into challenges and opportunities that face their workforce alongside the tools to help manage their workdays and overcome those challenges. So you'll get like a take action, the one that you see here, take action. Like there are opportunities to take some actions to initiate meaningful change and best practices to underscore that impact. That's
So
all I
Gaia, there are a
planned.
couple of questions.
Yeah.
If I can ask a few questions here.
Yeah.
So there's one question say, I can no longer see no meeting days under teamwork habits.
Mm-hmm.
And the document still says I should. So did it find through under organization trend, or is it permanently moved there?
I think the documentation might need to be fixed, Vivian. So I'll take a look at it. So most likely, like organization trends is where you will find it. But let me revert back on that. Like maybe the documentation is. Let me check and come back on that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And there's another question under teamwork habits. I can see the session stay connect that is not mentioned in the document as well. So that's another documentation that you may want to have a look.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's another question. Currently, we can add any employees as a team member, even employee in a higher position, for example, C-level from another department. We were informed from our local partner that this will be discontinued. Do we have a time frame for this? So I think to translate that, I think normally we can add additional team members. So the first draft will be, I think, AAD, and then additional to that, you can add team members, but now we're no longer able to do that.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't have visibility into the timeline part of it. So I will have to check and come back on the timeline part of it, Vivian, on this.
Yeah. There's another question. When a people manager view the organization trend page, do they by default only see the metrics list there for the team only?
Yes, yes. So, like I mentioned, if you're a group manager, you will see manager insights. If you are an org leader, like you have been assigned the insights business leader role, then you will see a leader level insights. And if you have both the roles, you will have an opportunity to switch between the two.
Yeah, that's due to the privacy reasons. So need to be at least a team of more than 9 people. So 10 in total, more than 10 in total, including the manager. So that was the reason. Yeah. For the other questions, thank you.